Hey y'all, welcome to Zai's Divine Vision. Today we're going to be doing the shadow work oracle messages, and these messages is just looking at the work that you guys have done over this year and what have you moved on from internally. And then I'm going to say within the next 2-3 days we're going to be looking at what shadow work is needed for 2026. Starting off, we're going to start with water signs, the best. We know this. Water signs, what shadow work or things have you guys completed over this year? I'm going to try to really get some cards to just come out. Water signs energy. Water sign. I'm going to do 3 cards for each element. So first card out here, we have isolation. In solitude, discover your true self and connect deeper. Loneliness, solitude, alienation. Next one is stagnation. Movement, even if slow, is progress. Inactivity, standstill, rut. Last card, grief. In pain, find healing and deeper connection to the self. Sorrow, mourning, loss. So yeah, this energy for you guys, water signs, it has been a lot of facing the music when it comes to certain situations, realizing that just because you isolate doesn't mean you're actively healing and you're just locking yourself away to sit in grief and misery, which caused you guys stagnation. But because you guys have been doing the work, you're starting to realize, okay, I was letting my emotions get in my way, and we can't do that moving forward. And it's like when you guys took the time to realize, okay, maybe I do need to be around people. And I'm picking up the energy that some of you guys thought by isolating yourself away from people instead of asking for help or acknowledging where you needed support, this is what caused you guys even more stagnation and blockages. When it comes to the grief energy, I'm seeing that you guys really took the time to address whatever sadness or, anything that you had grief over that you may have tried to ignore or push away and act like it didn't exist. This was the year of you facing the things that you try to act like didn't happen, doesn't exist, doesn't bother you. Acknowledging that it bothers you, but then taking accountability for what you could do in the situation at that time. But you guys have healed all of that. I'm seeing that y'all are learning, yes, it's okay to separate yourself because your misery doesn't necessarily like company, but the grief part, you have to learn to healthily lean on people who show you that they're there for you. And that's where I'm getting where you guys were getting the stagnation, because it's like you guys were getting in your own way, trying to act like, oh, I don't need nobody, I got this, da 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 da. Because in the end, when you are acting as if you have nobody, but you truly do, that turns people that actually have your back away from you. And I'm happy you guys have healed from that. Moving on, we're going to be looking at earth signs. Earth signs. What have you guys healed? You hear my family in the back? Hold on. All right. Back. I'm back. Fire signs. Earth signs. Earth signs. What did you guys heal this year when it comes to your shadow work? I'm going to take those. Just this one. So we got fear, neglect, and shame. So you guys have healed from having fear over the parts that you felt shame over. So it's like just naturally learning to embrace yourself. And then, matter of fact, let me read the card. So fear. Face your darkness. It's the only way to find the guiding light. Anxiety, apprehension, phobia. So with that energy, anything that you guys have been scared to do, you guys have broken free from that. shame energy. It says embrace your flaws. They are part of your unique story. So yeah, just really learning to fuck with yourself heavy this year was the main focus. The neglect. Tend to your inner garden and it will flourish. So yeah, you guys may have spent a lot of time overly giving to situations out of fear, like, oh, if I don't self-sacrifice, then I'm gonna lose out on this. And then I'm seeing like it took some kind of very big situation where you may have had somebody trying to shame you. It took for that to happen to wake you guys up, like, okay, you know what? I can only feel shame about this if it's something I'm embarrassed about or I don't feel good about. But if I accept the situation, I accept that flaw, then nobody can shame me about it. I like that energy. I like that energy. And I'm also picking up the energy with the neglect and shame. You guys neglected self-care, physically, emotionally. And I'm picking up the energy that somebody seriously, like, had an abandonment wound, which caused them to act extra needy sometimes, which casted a shadow of shame over them. But you guys have broken free from that because you're understanding and showing people, okay, you know, I'm no longer being so consumed by fear and the what ifs of who may judge me, that now I'm flourishing, I'm thriving, I'm living. That's you guys' energy. That's what you guys have healed from. And honestly, not even to jump ahead to the other messages that I wanted to do with the shadow work, 2026 is looking really good for you guys. I love this, earth signs. Keep up the good work with reuniting with your inner selves and not allowing fear and outside opinions and judgments cloud your intuition and knowing. You know what you need to do. Y'all have been doing it. Sorry, my son-in-law threw me off. But yeah, keep doing y'all shit. Keep doing y'all big ones, earth signs. It may have been a rough year for you guys, but isn't it beautiful that you guys stopped running and just finally decided to embrace? Yeah, we know it. Next, we're gonna do air signs, saving the fire signs for last. Air signs. What does air signs hail from? And y'all don't mind me, I'm not used to recording on camera, so sorry if I'm kind of awkward, but air signs. Air signs. What does these fucking air signs hail from this year? Illusion. Seek reality, even if it's raw and challenging. Deceit. Honesty is the bridge to authentic connections. Lies, deception, fraud. Rejection. Through the sting of being left out, we discover our own inner worth. Denial, dismissal, exclusion. So, yeah, this one is kind of pretty much self-explanatory, air signs. Not only have you guys healed from being rejected from people places, and just even within yourself, the times where you were under an illusion or where you were seeing things from a rose-colored glass view instead of seeing it for what it really is. This year really broke you guys' heart, but it fixed your vision. And I know that's a cliche-ass saying, but it's true. You guys had to be woken up in a harsh way for you to see, okay, these people is playing with me, especially with the deceit. And then it's like, I'm picking up the energy where some of you guys were lying to yourselves to try to fit yourself into these spaces that were clearly not really meant for you and clearly rejecting you and pushing you away. And it's like you kept just trying to fight fire with fire. The more they push you away, the more harder you pushed to have like a sense of belonging, because you were under an illusion that these people and places and things were good for you, but they weren't. I'm also picking up the energy where all the times where you guys lied to yourself to where you didn't want to face the music or look within to see, okay, maybe it's something that I'm doing on my end. This was the year for you guys to stop lying to yourselves and being real. Nobody likes to have to sit down and be like, I was wrong, but I am seeing that it took for you guys understanding, okay, I maybe like with the illusion and deceit, I'm getting is like well-intentioned behaviors or actions, but not thought out to how it could affect other people in the end. Even, the worst intention, the best intentions still sometimes come with consequences. And I'm getting that energy where it's like you guys were in your own self-illusions about how certain situations and environments were, and you hurt yourself in the process. But you woke up, and we love that, air signs. And that's the thing. You guys have also, I'm picking up the energy because it's always a thing where people are like, oh, air signs are so aloof. They're emotionally cold. No, you guys have emotions, but waking up to the fact that it's time to stop compartmentalizing and intellectualizing your emotions and actively feeling them and working through them instead of just trying to think through them, if that makes sense for you guys. So yeah, air signs, we love the growth. It takes a real one to be like, you know what? Maybe it is me. It takes a real one to sit there and think about their actions. For real. It really does. So don't make anybody make you feel bad. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Finishing this out. Fire signs. What the fuck did you motherfuckers? Yes, I'm one of them swearing readers. I'm real. Be real over here. I'm not mincing my words. I'm not rainbows and cupcakes and flowers. No, be real over here. But last but not least, fire signs. What did y'all heal from this year? So we got insecurity. And this one came out sideways. So it's given, the energy already is given. Some of you guys are like, have done the work, but still need a little bit more work on the insecurities. Also got envy and pride. So starting off with the insecurities, it says, your worth is intrinsic and unchanging. Doubt, uncertainty, anxiety. Envy. Turn green eyes into a force for self-improvement and inspiration. Jealousy. Ooh, I can't see that one. Covetousness and longing. My bad, I couldn't see that one. And then lastly, pride. True worth is measured by character, not accolades. Arrogance, vanity, ego. So, yeah. You guys have healed from the fact that of just like comparison and allowing your pride to essentially write checks that your ass can't cash. Pride is a motherfucker. Pride can cause a lot of good things to fall apart simply because you got too much pride. You got to learn to put that shit to the side. I recently had this conversation with an air sign who has fire sign in their big three. So this is all aligning. But for real, you guys had to take a step back. And I'm seeing, and not even to be funny, but I'm seeing it was a situation where you had to be humbled to see certain things isn't a competition. Why? Like, it took for you getting put in your place for you to take a step back and say, you know what? Maybe I am being a little green-eyed towards somebody when you shouldn't be. And that's coming from the place of you maybe not feeling like you're enough due to certain restrictions when it comes to materialistic things like clothes, money, clout. Who the fuck gives a fuck about clout these days? For real. It's about being authentic. That's where the best clout comes from, just by being yourself. And I'm seeing that parts of you guys is still needing some work on accepting the parts that you're insecure about. And I'm seeing that some of those insecurities are coming simply from the fact that you keep comparing yourself to what you see other people's lives are, not even understanding they go through shit in the background. You never know what someone is going through. You truly never know what someone is going through. You don't know what somebody had to do to obtain the things that you're jealous or envious over. And then I'm seeing, picking up the energy, like, you guys you guys had to essentially let your ego be your downfall for you guys to start fresh and start from a clean slate and start building up again. The pride, learning when to ask for help, knowing when you're wrong and taking accountability. And I'm picking up the energy where it's like the insecurities, trying to cover them up and not really acknowledge that you have the insecurities, made you act very prideful and egotistical, showing your ass. And then you had to get humbled, and then it turns to okay, you know what, maybe let me not do this, because it's always gonna turn back around on me, essentially. So yeah, not water signs. Oh, you guys, it could have been a situation with a water sign that caused this. But nonetheless, you guys are going through a death and rebirth. They go that water sign energy, Scorpio. Maybe in a connection with a Scorpio. Scorpios are significant. Maybe even something happened around Scorpio season that caused these changes or causes awakening with you to like, okay, maybe it is me. I can't be too cocky, not to say you don't deserve to pop your shit, but being overly cocky and prideful, egotistical is recipe for disaster every time. And you guys have healed from that this year, or in the midst of healing from that. And next year again, next year you guys is going to be on a different type of timing, and it's going to shock people. You're going to shock your fucking selves. But that's the end of the shadow work messages, you guys, for all the elements. If this resonates, drop a heart in the comments if you feel like this message needs to be heard by other people. Don't be shy to share it. Hold on. But yeah, thanks for rocking with me through all the interruptions. It's the holiday seasons. We multitasking over here. Hope everyone has a happy holiday season. Enjoy the rest of this chaotic ass 2025 year. And I'll see you guys 2026.